The I-4 corridor connects the tourist cities of Orlando to Tampa and makes it quick to travel between the two. But so many transient people and big attractions also makes it one of the hottest spots in the country for human trafficking. The CDC reported in 2012 that healthcare providers wrote enough prescriptions for every American adult to have a bottle of pills. And that's how it starts for heroin addicts. Velasquez's lawyer says he was held here for a week. But according to this magistrate report, he was discharged due to not meeting criteria for an involuntary hold, in part due to a lack of evidence. I just ran into a student right across the street from Brantley High School, and he says that there are still facilities off limits to students. Jerry Jennerine will return back to work, but this comes after a long criminal proceeding that took years, and then an internal investigation that took months. But now he'll be back to work on Wednesday. I'm here on International Drive getting local reaction regarding this morning's terrorist attack outside of Britain's parliament. Some tourists visiting from England say they're shocked to hear this news. Others say this can happen anywhere.
These are years of sobriety.
3 coins for 3 years. For Danielle Quinn, they represent how far she has come since her college days up north.
How is that hurting people? It's a little powder. So then I tried it, and I loved it.
That powder was heroin. But when she moved to Florida, pills were easier to find.
I went to the corner store, which was half a block away, stood there for about 5 minutes and just saw somebody. And I said, "Hey, you got pills? Yeah, what do you need?"
Quinn is one of the millions addicted to opioids. Throughout the country, addicts turn to places known as pill mills. UCF criminal justice professor Jacinta Gao received a large grant to study legislation to stop pill mills.
Ultimately, what is problematic about these types of establishments is that they are, on their face, legal operations.
The CDC reported in 2012 that healthcare providers wrote enough prescriptions for every American adult to have a bottle of pills. And that's how it starts for heroin addicts. UCF Medical Education Assistant Dean Dr. Martin Klafik says training is improving.
We start off by trying to teach the students how to do a good, thorough pain assessment, a history examination.
Opioid-related deaths in Florida went down in 2007 but spiked in 2015. Quinn says she wasn't afraid of dying.
The sad part about it is if they pass away, and like, oh, they must have got something really good. What was that?
She says that changed after the birth of her child.
I got arrested. So it's not me just getting arrested. I just got to worry about myself. I had a son, I had a child, and that was probably one of the most devastating moments of my entire life because I grew up with my parents being addicted, my mom being addicted to drugs.
Quinn found a new excitement for life, and she hopes others can find that too. Reporting in Orlando, Alex Bozarjian, UCF Nightly News.
This was a big deal for me, getting my art back.
Lisa Johnson shares her heart through her work. She manages a thrift store that helps victims of human trafficking. But it wasn't always that way for Lisa.
And my aunt was giving me to him, and she was getting drugs in return. I didn't know that.
Lisa was a modern-day slave. Survivors like her shared their stories at Orlando's 10th annual human trafficking event. That was the reaction after Savannah Parview shared hers. Her story is a little different than Lisa's, but their message is the same. A message of hope and life after trafficking. The I-4 corridor connects the tourist cities of Orlando to Tampa and makes it quick to travel between the two. But so many transient people and big attractions also makes it one of the hottest spots in the country for human trafficking. Lynn Huff Corzine and Jay Corzine lead their own crime lab on the UCF campus. For the past 3 years, they've worked with law enforcement and agencies like Florida Abolitionists to collect data on human trafficking. Huff Corzine and her team are trying to figure out what makes our region so vulnerable.
Florida is number 3 in terms of the phone calls that come in. And, being third to Texas and California, could be our tourism.
Lisa's pimp was arrested on September 18, 2014, and was sentenced to 5 years in prison. He is set to be released in 2019. Despite that, Lisa wants to get across one message.
So there's more to it than just prostitution, and that's what I want to bring awareness to.
She hopes her story will paint a more realistic picture of human trafficking. Reporting in Orlando, Alexandria Bozarjian, UCF Nightly News.
U.S. history. Run that way.
R.I.P. my hero. Those were some of the words that police say Christian Velasquez posted on Reddit about Las Vegas shooter Stephen Paddock. Days later, after 17 people died at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, police say Velasquez posted again. Quote, "Cruz is a hero," end quote. Those Reddit posts, among others, prompted police to Baker Act Velasquez on March 5th. Velasquez's lawyer says he was held here for a week, but according to this magistrate report, he was discharged due to not meeting criteria for an involuntary hold, in part due to a lack of evidence. Still, documents show his father turned over his own gun to police and let them search his room. On March 9th, the Florida legislature passed a new law called the Risk Protection Order. Police filed the first of its kind against Velasquez 10 days later. The order temporarily bars Velasquez from buying a gun or owning a gun. His lawyer, Kendra Paris, calls it an abuse of power.
People say horrible things. Why do people make horrible statements online? Well, they're making it in response to this situation, and they don't know all the facts. So who knows why people do it, but they do, and it's a culture that we've grown accustomed to online.
Nightly News tried several times to interview UCF police about the case, but
I've been speaking with your counterpart about that, and I told her that I wasn't doing an interview.
they did release this statement. "We should all sleep easier at night knowing that a firearm was removed from his household and that he is barred from purchasing any others." Reporting in Orlando, Alexandria Bozarjian, UCF Nightly News.